Ladies and gentlemen, Stonehearth, a colony management / city builder simulator type game where you manage a colony of people. You can't directly tell them what to do, you just sort of set up priorities and tasks and jobs and they sort of fill it out to completion, much like Dwarf Fortress, Brimworld, Nomeria, etc, etc. I won't bore you with the details as to exactly what all this game is and isn't, but I will say it is very much alpha. This is alpha version 13 and the game's got a long way to go still. Because of its lack of content, this probably won't be a very long series at all, but we'll see. We'll give it a go. We'll see what kind of interest there is. Please do leave a rating so I know how many people are interested in this kind of thing. I know a lot of people like Brimworld, so I expect this to do fairly well, but I'm not sure if maybe some of the perhaps artistic design of the game or, whatever like that rubs people the wrong way. I think for the most part, this is a pretty solid game. It's $25 on Steam right now, though, so might hold off for a little more stuff. It is very much early access. As I said before, it's a bit lacking in content, but anyway, we'll jump into it. At the start, you can select 2 different kingdoms. I don't really know what the difference is between both of them. I don't think there really is for now. Off camera, I played this for a couple hours just to learn, and I was the Ascendancy in the forest area, so I think this time I'm going to be Rayya's children in the desert area. Desert and temperate being the 2 biomes that are in the game right now. Again, I was temperate before, so I will go desert this time. And we'll be going with a normal game, though I'm not too certain it actually does very much. When I was playing it, the things that could have attacked just sort of stood there and just sort of existed, so I don't really know. And this is our expedition roster. We have 7 people and their stats are completely randomized, so we'll just re-roll a few times just for the fun of it and see if I can get anything really fun. I quite like this group of people. It's pretty good, a lot better than the thing that I had off camera. The names didn't generate as such, I manually changed those. You can have those be whatever the heck you would like them to be, except special characters and alt codes and all that good fun stuff. So there seems to be no character limit at all whatsoever, which is always a nice thing. Although in game I think it really just matters with the character sheet, in which case it'll probably just crop it off, like if you have a name that's that long, that's how it'll display, I feel like, but we'll find out. Judith Harbright's name is fairly long. These names, though, are Patreon supporter names, the people who support me on Patreon, who keep me fed and stuff like that. They get their name in-game as my way of saying thank you. I'm just working from the top of the list to the bottom, started by a pledged amount because I can't really be bothered to figure out which tier this belongs into, and honestly, I think I might just get rid of the tiers altogether and just keep it as a simple, well, this type thing. But that's for a later date. The 3 main stats that you have here are mind, body, and spirit. Spirit affecting courage, willpower, compassion, sort of a fighty type character thing. And then you also got body, which is muscle, speed, and stamina, which is more crafting and fighting. And then mind, which is diligence, curiosity, and inventiveness, which is a little bit of everything, I think. The 3 of them work together to generate the sort of more specific stats to your person, such as like bravery and how creative they are, their inventiveness and stuff like that. So this is a pretty good group of people that I have. Only a few of them have weaknesses. 99 an example, he's got a low body, so he's going to be pretty slow and weak. But if you're just kind of sitting there crafting, doesn't much matter because he's got a lot of spirit and a lot of mind, so he should be fairly inventive, I think. But anywho, the stuff that you start with all off on the right here is, well, it seems really limited, especially since when you buy one, you can only have one. So you either have it or you don't. You have enough money for a trapper's knife, which can be really good because the trapper's knife is kind of a bother to get in game. It requires all sorts of prerequisites before you can make it, so it's a great thing to start with, but if you do, you have no money. So usually what I do is I go for the corn and pumpkin basket because food, obviously. Spindle's kind of nice, though I never really used fiber early on. Wooden sword so I can have a fighter, although I suppose really starting off isn't really necessary. I think we'll just rock the hoe and food, to be honest. And I could probably just get by with just the hoe, but we'll rock the 2 baskets of food and the hoe for farming. Generates a world if you want to play along. That's the world seed. And ooh, the desert sure is deserty. You can see sort of the off to the right there how much these specific parts of the zone have. We'll give this spot a shot here. It's got a little bit of wildlife, a little bit of trees and plants, and a lot of minerals, as it should. It is a mountain. But I am curious on mountain. Before I started as foothills, which is mostly like a mix of plains and then a higher elevation mountain plain, if you can imagine that. Let's see if it's much different than this. Let's go ahead and settle it here. Yeah, this is actually quite a lot different than what I played with off camera. What I had off camera was, it was foothills, but it was also the temperate area. So it was like a zone like this covered in trees, and then a cliff for like the rest of the map, and then just flat mountain across. It was really strange looking, but this is definitely doable. Not really sure what kind of wildlife we have here. What's that? Is that just, I think those are just stone blocks there. Thought if you hovered over it would tell you what it is. No? Okay, maybe once we start. I think those are just rocks to pick up though. Let's try the cornerish area here. A little bit of flowers going on here. There might be some wildlife somewhere around here. I don't know. I don't see anything. Usually it's just like small stuff. I can't really hunt anyway. I don't have a trapper's knife, so we'll just go. We'll go out here. Right there. Direnbry. Sure. Settled. And that's us. That's our little spot. You start with a, let's pause it real quick. There we go. You start with a little campfire that gets lit at night, and people just kind of hang out there and warm up at night. The food baskets that I started with, the sparkly over here would be the potter's cutter. What? Oh, I panicked for a bit. There it is. I saw this. The sparklies indicate like tools and stuff that you use for professions and all that. And I saw the potter's cutter here, and I was like, what? I didn't think I started with one of those. And I thought maybe I selected that instead of the hoe, and I was very confused, but never mind. We're okay. So we got the pumpkin basket there, the corn basket there, a potter's cutter, which you apparently start with regardless of what you choose, and then the hoe there as well. So we can farm kind of, sort of, maybe, possibly. I don't even know if this train really supports it. It was kind of my experiment. Oh, look, fox. Aww. I don't have a trapping knife, so I can't really do anything with it anyway, but... Okay, well, let's move on here and get our basics set up. Obviously, first thing here, a sort of just stockpile zone thing, just store stuff. And things 20 by 20 is the biggest it can be. Fine, store everything there. Good, make it happen. And then, I'm curious if I can also designate requires a farmer, right? So this is the really basic priority system that it's got. It's pretty straightforward: hauling, building, mining, and then specific job. Obviously, you tell them whether or not they can or cannot do something, and they'll just kind of get around to doing them at sort of random priority. Like if there's a bunch of stuff to haul, I don't know what tells them which to haul first. I think it might just be proximity. The question also comes into mind when it comes to like chopping down trees / mining. I don't know which one they prefer, because I think chopping down trees might be considered mining unless it's just specific job to worker. I don't know. Anyway, this is it. It's really simple and straightforward. But job is what we're looking at. Mulskins I think I'm going to go with because he's got a lot of diligence from his sort of main attributes here. The diligence affecting his just general crafting speed, and I don't know if farming affects or is affected by crafting. I just figure this is your ability to do long tasks without getting distracted. I don't know if farming takes all day. I don't think farming really much matters, to be honest, but we'll have Mulskins do it regardless. So we will tell him to change his jobs. By default, he's just a worker, and we will just make him a farmer. And we can do this because we have the farmer's hoe. It's crafted by the carpenter, but I also just bought one at the beginning of the game. That was what that bit was at the beginning there. So we basically start with a farmer. Otherwise, we would have to make a farmer's hoe from the carpenter's workshop. But to get a carpenter, we would need the carpenter's saw, which is crafted by the blacksmith. And to get the blacksmith, we need a blacksmith hammer, which is crafted by the mason. And to get a mason, we have to have a level 2 potter, and the mason's chisel crafted by the potter. So we'll have to assign somebody to be a potter and work on all that, especially if we want to do if we want a shepherd, it's an even bigger ball ache, because this requires you to have the shepherd's crook crafted by the carpenter, and then the carpenter needs a carpenter's saw. It's just, but you also have to have level 2 trapping, and there's not many animals around, and blah, and blah, and blah, so I'm probably not going to be able to do that much stuff. And if you're doing that, yeah, screw it, we'll have Jack be the potter. Why not? I didn't really honestly do much pottery when I was playing off camera, so that's a bit new to me. So we will have you guys just focus on doing your job specifically. Everybody else can do the other stuff. Building, mining, hauling. I think we might have to do sort of stone huts, because I don't think we have enough wood to really do anything else. They are becoming the job officially. And there they go. They get the immediate change of clothes automatically, and they're off. Now they do that. And because I set them up to do just specifically their job, they're just going to stand there and do nothing else. Oh no, it looked like it reset them a little bit. interestingly enough, it looks like the potter can also help build, whereas the farmer cannot do build or mine. So it's kind of job dependent. I guess I'll have you guys haul, why not? But for farming, I don't even know if I can farm here. Oh, I can. Oh, excellent. Okay. Plant no crop, let the soil renew itself. The carrot golden gourd crop, much prettier than it is tasty. We'll just do carrots. Go for carrots there. Carrots here. And then, I guess some corn for some slow growing. There you go, so work on that. Everybody else, I suppose we will start going with the mining, which for me, the mining system is completely awkward. Apparently, the developers don't want you to be able to mine vertically because they don't want you to do mine shafts like that quite yet. I think mine shafts, they have something else in mind, but for the time being, you just kind of have to horizontally strip mine because you can either do individual blocks, which is exactly as it sounds like, but you're limited to the plane. Like there's no way to go vertical. It's only horizontal. So it's really strange the way it is. I don't know if I like it or not. I mean, it's kind of simple, but still. But rather than doing block by block, we will just go for mine tunnel, which defaults it to a 4x4 plane. This looks like a nice inlet, so we will just tell them to mine that as such. Let's actually go for the slice view. I forgot that that's so much easier to use. Slice, which literally just slices the world for you so you can see different planes and elevations. And this does go quite deep. It goes very far down. I don't even know if there's a bottom limit, but it's like minus 700 or something. When I was just kind of clicking randomly. Just goes all the way down, but let's bring it back up. It takes forever to get all the way back up after I go that far down. There's no reset, which would be a great thing to have. So we will just mine the tunnel, 4x4, that's fine. Just, I suppose in there like that. We'll be sort of cave people, though I think I will eventually build up a wall and sort of wall ourselves up too. But there's that, so they will do that. So we got also a bulletin here. What was this? An Iskander agent, new potential partner. So this is, I guess you could call it a sort of a quest. It happens for me infrequently when I was playing before. Sometimes you get a trader who's just like, oh, hey, I'll be there in a couple days, but if you could, I would like to buy from you, you know, this specific item. And this guy is apparently just giving me, he's giving me the materials I need for a clay oil lamp and a prickly pear basket, I think. So, thank you. Oh no, he's just giving that to me. Oh, neat. Well, that's nice of him. Free stuff. So we have... Wow, we have a shitload of food then. Well, that's nice. I suppose we will install that... What is it, a floor thing? What the hell? Weird, it is. It's a oil lamp, like, on the floor? We'll put it there, sort of wherever the door is going to be, I guess. So we'll start doing that, and let's also set us to harvest some trees and all. Okay, yeah, they are going to harvest those and chop the trees, but I think they do that after mining because some of them are set up for that. So I think if we go into here, like I'm still learning this game a little bit. Some of the things still confuse me a little bit. Like I'm pretty sure just if I uncheck mining on a couple people, they will do tree chopping, which is just their job specifically. I don't know. Well, I have no clue. They just kind of do whatever. Fine. So we'll leave you to doing that, and they'll work on mining their way through. It's just kind of sort of generates stones and minerals, copper ore. You don't actually see the copper ore though. It just sort of, I think, just rolls the dice per bit. You chunk off a little bit of gold there. That's always nice. There we go. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Clay. We just kind of mine clay. I was wondering why I couldn't quite do the workshops yet, and it's because I didn't have enough clay for it. They need to haul it still, but we'll still queue it up. But the person, when they becomes a profession, they create their own workshops just kind of out of the ingredients that you have. So the potter's kiln, we'll queue that up for crafting, and the wheel, queue that up for crafting as well. Switch around priorities on the right, or if I want to make a ton of something, that's what this is down here. I only need one, but if I want to just make it like basically infinite, I'll just tell them to maintain 99 in the inventory and they'll just kind of endlessly work on it. But again, we only need one. So that's more for like blacksmithing. If you've got just like a ton of ore that you want to smelt into bars, you would just tell them to maintain 99 bars in inventory. Good luck ever reaching that much, therefore basically infinite. You can also see the order screen here to see who's doing what and when. I think the first thing we're going to want to build once we get here is the clay chisel, but that requires the kiln, which we're working on, and a potter level 2. So to get them to level 2, we just have to make things and stuff. So probably just basic urns, clay bricks. There we go, for probably a brick wall. Okay, so that's what we'll do for buildings, because there's not much wood around, so I can't do wood houses, so I'll have to do brick houses. Got it. So we'll need to mine a lot of this clay then. So just go for it. I don't know if cave-ins are a thing. We'll find out. Let's expand to grab that bit too. And turn off slice so you can actually see what we're doing here. You can see that hole that we mined into the mountain, nice and even, very flush. Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna like fall on their heads or not. Worst case, if I need to get up there and clear that out, I can very easily do so with constructing a ladder, which I think is kind of sort of free to a degree. But we can just kind of do that until we're over there and build it, and we can hop up there and continue mining out stuff or get that tree or, you know, whatever we need to do. That's important to keep in mind if you're trying to do mine shafts. You can sort of manually do it. It's a pain in the ass to do though. You just sort of have to mine blocks and create your own staircase and move the slice level down a little bit. Ugh. That's what I said. It's like the UI is a little bit strange sometimes, but apparently they have an idea for mine shafts already, so yeah, we'll just wait it out and let them do what they're doing. So while we collect a bunch of clay, I assume you did all that, so we can either just find it in the stockpile and click it as some shimmery type things there, or there. Although hotkey P, got it. Build design, place items, the stuff that we already have. We have flowers that we can place, or these things. Holy crap, that's big. Okay. I think that's the front. We'll just kind of put this. Whoops. Why? There you go. I don't know why it was doing that. We'll just put that next to it, just in the general vicinity. And she'll run over there and just plop those down. Meanwhile, we're getting loads and loads of clay here. Trying to figure out a sort of idea as to what the hell I'm doing here. As far as like houses go, because we have to start queuing that up pretty soon. I think if I just go into here, we'll just queue it up and they'll figure it out. Now, there are a few preset things like the clay house for 2, but they tend to be fairly grand in the requirements. So we can just do clay dormitory eventually, maybe, possibly. I guess how many beds did I got? 4, 6, 4 at least on the first floor. We'll just do our own custom building, I think. So foundation and do out of... Okay, I can't do stone. Okay, at least the foundation I can. Do a clay brick floor. Just going to do a massive dormitory type thing just for now, just so we have a house out here. I think ultimately I might just live in the mountainside or something. I don't know yet. Maybe just like a little farmer's house. That is a bare bones basic house. A door, some window frames, the roof, the walls, the floor itself. Very, very simple. It's really easy to build houses in this too. It's great. Like the roof, if I wanted to maybe bring it out a little more, you know, do the overhang bit type thing and maybe build a support beam, or, you know, maybe change the offside a little bit if I wanted to maybe do a second story at some point, you know, do whatever I want here. I can even have it just like sink in and just look terrible if I wanted to, but I won't. I'll leave it as normal. Overhang one all around. Looks nice. Very standard, very simple to do. If you want to do like defensive walls, freestanding walls works pretty well for that as well, or support beams, or, you know, however you want to do it. But I think we'll just leave it at that for now. Whoops. This is the general rundown of everything I need. Red clay window frames I need to still build. That requires 4. I don't know if I'll be doing that at the kiln or not. I imagine it's clay, so probably. Keep an eye out for it. I need a wood door though, so I need a carpenter workshop at some point, which can be a bit of a pain in the ass, but we'll give it a go. We'll find out. So we'll call it building number 1. Sure, why not? Yes, start building. And they'll work on doing that. They'll automatically build the ladders and all that stuff too to reach the higher end things if you're building like a really tall tower. But first things first, dig out the floor, do the foundation and all that jazz. So while they do that, we need to figure out how to get the carpenter thing up, so let's just bring this up real quick. Carpenter, blacksmith. To do the blacksmith, we need the mason. To do the mason, we needed the potter, right? So you just continue doing that then. I guess we could set up a stockpile over here for, let's show the workshop here. What all do we need over here? Pause it. Oh, that's the workshop itself. Just clay. I needed some red clay windows, so build 4 right now. But it looks like literally just clay for everything. Okay, as I thought. Wanted to double check. So let's do a stockpile here for specifically clay. Alright, that's a nice spot. None except stone and clay. Cool. And can I expand it a little bit? Sort of. There. Stone and clay goes there, and then not there. Oof, that's a lot of it. I wish clay was separate from stone. Ah, well.